Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. A couple hours ago, I made a video on this. Originally, it was for trying to put on a wrap on a hat. So a mock-up so it looked the same. And somebody said, how did they make the outline of that patch? Well, he doesn't have a vector of it, but I can pretty much reproduce this. I'm going to take a rectangle, and then I'm going to grab my chamfered corners with my ratio lock, and I'm going to chamfer the corners. Then I'm going to, if you look, there's basically four lines, or three, because there's this line, and this line. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, and we're going to go to Effects and Contour. We're going to contour 3 times, and let's say 0.5. We are going to actually need 4 lines. Whoop, I went to the outside. And I need to 0.05 maybe to the inside. I'm actually going to need, maybe I just need, because I need a center line. You know what? Let's go, let's contour. This will be pretty good. Contour 1 time. Go up to Object, break the contour apart. Contour that line 0.025. Go up to Object, break the contour apart. And then contour this line 0.05. That, well, that's not exactly what I wanted. You know what we can do? Let's do this. We need a line in the, basically need a, what we need an outside line, and then we need this line. Let's contour it again. I didn't break the contour apart. A lot of times you got to grab the whole thing. I'm trying to reproduce it the whole way. Okay. So now we have the 2 lines and we have a center line. I'm going to break that contour apart, and this red line, or this line, I'm going to make red, just so we know no, that's not the one I want. I want the center line red, because that's going to be our path. So I'm going to grab that line and make it red, just so we know we have it and it's separated. Now, this would be very easy if there were just dashes, but there's a little flat oval. So I'm using somebody else's program and they draw. So I'm going to go hit F12 and I'm going to change it to hairline, and I'm going to actually go and change it to RGB black or RGB red. I like drawing in red. So we're just going to kind of draw, and I was playing with this the other day, so you have to kind of go back to the circle. And we're going to call that good. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with black and take away the outline. Now, there's a couple of ways you could do this. I don't know how many it's going to take. And you know what? Probably the easiest thing would be to, I'm going to set my nudge factor on 12 inches. And I'm going to move my red box out of the way. And I'm going to grab my item. I don't have to be on the item right now, but that line is going to be our center point. I'm going to first try to use, it's going to be a little bit difficult with the chamfered corners. I'm going to go to Object, Fit Object to Path, and I'm going to have the object picked, Shift select the path. I want it in the middle. I want 60 duplicates, and that's pretty good. These are a little bit funny at an angle. You know what? Let's try the blend tool. Now that we know there's 60. With the blend tool, you're going to need 2 objects. Maybe it'll take that. I say the chamfer is going to be hard, or make it harder. Let's go to Effects and Blend, and we'll go 58 times because we already have 2. And then go right here to blend the full path. Blend along full path and rotate objects. Let's see. No, it's going to give us the same thing. Now, the only thing, there's nothing wrong with this. I wish I would have started in the center of the page, because we could go and very easily select it all, go up to object, break the blend apart, and probably have to ungroup them, go up to object, group, and ungroup all. And then you could just take that one. See, that's what I was saying about the chamfer going to make it hard. And, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you could make it look a little bit better. And if I'd started in the center of the page, I could just work on one corner and I wouldn't have to do this to every corner. The chamfer, now if this was a round corner, probably be pretty easy. So I'm going to call them, I got them all good. And then I'm going to take away my path. I'm going to Control G to group it. Let me get rid of all these dockers. And we're going to go back to our patch. And if you look, everything's black, but the inside white. We're going to go ahead and put this on a yellow rectangle just so we can see the colors. I'm going to go to Object, Order, Back a Page. And I'm going to take my black fill tool and fill in that and that. But then I'm going to take my white fill tool and go right here to this yellow and look at that. Now, whoever did this, you could do that. That might be the easier thing to do. Just blend the long lines. Well, let's just do that. Let's just back up here, show you how to do that. Be a lot easier. You just kind of need to figure out how many. And I'm going to have to back up pretty far because I've made quite a few, but okay. Now what I can do is take this shape, go up to Object, it's Control Curve. That has something to do with because the contour. You know what? You can always make a new shape. So we're going to take blue, fill that in. Let's set our nudge factor on half the distance. So we'll go 12, or 6, I mean. That way I can get right back to there. I can left click, right click, look at that. Now I've got my item. Now what I could do is, let me look at the difference now that this is a curve. I could get my shape tool and I could select all the nodes and I can right click and break apart. So now these are different, but I've got to select it now, go up to Object and break the curve apart. So you're going to need quite a few of these, and you could use, so I'm making quite a few of them. And I'm going to take these first two, I'm going to open up the blend docker again, and I'm going to blend them, let's just say 12 times. Blend along full path or blend along path. Might not be enough. Whoop. Blend along full path. You know what? You'd want to make the path shorter. Let's just do that. Let me back up here. Let me, this is a lot of work. But let's take a 2-point line and put it like right there on that edge. Trying to, that isn't what I want to do. And then hit the plus key, move it to the other side. And then just, let's nudge this out. Remember the 6 inches, 0.05. I'm guessing that'll work. So what I'm doing is I'm making shorter lines. So I'm cutting these lines out. Whoop, went a little too far. And the good thing about it, if we get it right, we can just move it down to the other one. Blend along full path. See, it stopped now before that corner. So we don't need those lines anymore. We don't need the lines at all, really. So what I can do now, because this is a blend, I can make a duplicate. And I'm going to take the lines away anyway, so I'm just going to move that. Well, I'll move my line. Control or hit the plus key on the keyboard. I hit my line again. Okay, there we go. Control D, make a duplicate. And you could, what's the deal? Okay. Okay, now, so I just made a copy and I can actually nudge it and fine tune it right on that line. We don't need those lines anyway. So now we're going to do the same thing to the short side. 2 lines. I'm the world's worst. Start moving and then hold down the control button. And if you remember, we nudged it off that line. And once again, we only have to do one side. So we're going to go up that 0.05. And you know, it'd be better to know how big your thing was. That's why I made these copies. Now I did 12, so I'm only going to do like 6. Well, I've already done it. I need to set this on 6. That might be too many. Blend along new path. Hopefully they'll be, no, I'm gonna have to turn them. Because if we go blend along full path, they're gonna be sideways. Well, okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna make another copy of those. Let me make them long ways, so I'm gonna rotate them 90 degrees. And let's blend them 6 times. Blend along new path. I know this might be boring to some of you. Blend along full path. Oh, I didn't cut the lines. So I think I can do it right now. The lines didn't really stop it. You need to cut them. And because those lines are broken, so definitely they might be too close together now. And object to path might be even better on this one. That's a little close. So let's go, let's back up here to, I backed up somewhere to cut my lines. Let's only blend, let's blend just 4 times. That looks better. Now take these lines away and grab that and hit the plus key. I don't know why it just grabs the line. There we go. Hit the plus key and nudge that. Wow. I know the blend should have maybe broken them apart. Okay. I don't know why it's just copying the lines. So even when I make a copy, there we go. Then just go across. We're almost perfect. We're going to take away the line anyway in a second. And then just make them dead on. I would hold down the control button, but I'm not. And then just take these oddball ones and I wouldn't even try blending them. So I'm going to show you another way. Also, if I would have started in the center of the page, I could not worried about this. I think of dashes, and you'd want to make sure they're the same angle, and that was not perfect. And see, if we were working the center of the page, I could rotate those around. And what I can also do is Control D to make a duplicate, and then move them down here and mirror them. And we're going to take away the line anyway. Boy, I hope this works toward the end. Hit the Control D, mirror them. See, it's a lot easier to do it this way. Now let's go through here and take away the line. Well, I'm going to probably have to grab it all, break the objects apart. Left click, no outline. All right, that looks pretty good. Now let's group these together and let's nudge them. Ooh, I need to set my nudge factor back to 6 inches. So if you ever nudge short, just nudge again. This is going to look a lot better. Sorry for the long video. I guess we don't want blue. We want black. And to make it look good, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the white with white. And then we could fill in, we could put a yellow box. It doesn't really look much. Well, that might be the original patch. So there you go. Yeah, that's the original patch because I think it's fuzzy. Just real quick, because I don't want to make another video. If we, let's back up. You know what? I want to save a copy of that for the icon for the video. Control D, make a duplicate. If you go Control C and copy that, then you can go back pretty far. And let's say we want that one that I finished, so I can right click and paste, and there's that vector. So just real quick, if you didn't want to make the circles, life would be a lot easier. Let's I hate to take your time. Let's make this just a little skinnier, holding down the shift key. See, that'll really never work. So let's just go back, sorry. Effects, contour, break the contour apart. Grab that line, go 0.025. Break that line, go up to object, break that contour apart. Now we need another one, 0.25. And that's going to be our center line. And then take this one, break contour apart. And then contour this one, 0.05. So that center line we want, and we're going to make it, let's make it red so we can identify it. And then all you have to do is just go to F12 on your keyboard and maybe make it a little bit thicker and go right here to a dash line and see how it's not perfect on the corner. If you go right here, it'll make them perfect, and then say okay. Now go to object, turn the outlines to an object. Let's left click, right click, and I'm going to make them all white on the inside, which is going to be hard to fill it in with black because I don't know where the beginning and the end are. But if you make a mistake, you can back, look at that. Now I messed up and got the wrong lines. But if you look at that, there's the stitches, much like this, maybe not as cool, but 10 times as easy. Anyway, sorry for the long video. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.